Thank you. Kupa chom dende, sheshin shaba, ranchong ba yang dang barun dobe sangye rüba dan shazun denban de war shemban che ten chenpa yebun duwe kalu gyurwa lana meba lana me namge yunbo sangye chom dende pe yawa shakya tuba la chasu Jodo gyazo je wo Chom den de ne jin shaba Ra chom ba yang da par tobe sangye Ribo da shazo den ban de war sheba Ji den kyen ba ge bu duwe kalu gyurwa Lana me ba lana me nange Damba sangye chom den de Pe je wo ja ja kubo lo cha de lo je do ja che wo de bo jong de de xin xie bo ra jong bo yang da wo zo be pe bo da xia zu de bo de wo ro xie bo ji den jin bo ji wo du be ga lo ge ro la na me bo la da me na ge dong ba sang ge jong de de ve ge wa xia jia tu bo la cha de Chö du jia zhen jie wo Gang ni zo wu qi tang xe Sa xin de la gong pa dun vor ne Na ne ji den de na zhou xie song De zi ke pa qi la cha zi la Gong ma zhong ma chu du su zang wa Yi xin kia zu ser ge hun bon ra Rabba ji den song na la me wa Gong bo qi ni kyo la sha zi lo Sen jo den ba tri me da we sha Se don tra wa kyo la sha zi lo Tu ra ju na si ba sun ma chi Nyam me kin jin kyo la sha zi lo Gong bo tu je che den ba Tam je kien be dong ba bo So na yun den kya zu xin De xin she la cha so La be de cha che war gyur Ge we ngin song le shu xin Chi du dang dang che gyur pa Chi gyur she la cha so So ne zho we lang yang den La ba da la ra de ne Shinje damba yun den den gen dun la yon cha zelo. Ge ba si an me ja shi ge wa pun sum so bar ge. Rang ge sen ne yon sen dun de ne sang ge den ba ye. Karma rabre mar me dan yung gyu ma se ba chu wor dan. Milan lodan tindam duje chunan de darda chunan de tamchi sibai goban tone gegen ratde gadan nadan shirwe la trube sibe cholen roa trovar show. Page 3. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When the supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like the spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. You are immaculate, three worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field, the mirror with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one God, the thusness, I prostrate. The purity which makes one free from attachment, the virtue which frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to that dharma which pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the full faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by waves of aging, sickness, and death. Control some la cha sabun de da ge de ban de ji na chum de de ge bu ga ja gu bum bo re long ge long ge ge de jem bo da jan ju sen be ge de jem bo da da ji de ju se de ze chum de de za mo na wa shi ja we shi ge na dang ge de ge zen la nyong ba re ju so yang de ze jan ju sen ba jem bo ba ba shi re ze wan ju Jibaru du jimbo sama jibo nila nambar ta jing gombo mabu nde tala yang rajin ki tombar nambar tao. Ine sangi ki tu tsedang demba shari gu janju semba jimbo baba chere se wanju la tiki che me so. Gangla la shira ki paru du jimba sama jiba shiba du ba de jidar la barja tiki che me ba dan janju semba jimbo baba chere se wanju ki tsedang demba shari da de bola tiki che me so. Shari bu rigi buang rigi bumo gangla la shiragi baru du jimbo sama cheba dupa de jidara nambara tawa chade bumbo ngabo de dala yang rajin ki tombar nambar yang dabar jesu tau. Pao tomba ni su le tomba ni shima yin tomba ni le kyang su shima yin no de shin du sorwa dan du shi dan nambara sheba na tomba wo shiri gu de da che dan che tomba ni le sinye me ba ma ji ba ma ga ba ji ma me ba chi ma dan che wa me ba ga wa me ba wo shiri gu de da we na tomba ni la su me sorwa me du shi me du ji me nambara sheba me mi me na wa me na me ji me lu me su me ra me ji me ru me re ja me ju me do mi ki ka me ba ne yi ki ka me yi ki nambara shebe ka ge ba de ya me do ma ri ba se ba me ba ne ka shi se be ba du ya me do de shin du du nge wa dong kun ju wa dong go ba dong la me yi shi me to ba me ma do ba ya me do shari bu Janju semba nam toba me pe shira ge paru du chimba la tenji ne de semla tripa me shin trapa me de shin je lo le shin du de ne nyang he le de pe tar chin du nambar shu pe sange tam che kyong shira ge paru du chimba la tene la na me pa yang da bar zo pe janju tu mo bar zo bar sang ye zo de na shira ji paru tu jimbe nga ripa jimbe nga lana mebe nga minyamba da nyambe nga dunga tam shira tu shivar chibe nga minzu wena dimbar shipar chate shira ji paru tu jimbe nga meba thaya tha gade gade para sam gade buddhi soha Nijanju sempa sempa chempo de tar shiragi paru du chempa samola labar chao dene chom de tingi zende le shan sempa sempa chempo papa chime se wanchu la le so shi chawa chine le so riki bu te shino te shin de chitra chuji tempo shindu shiragi paru du chempa samola Pache Jate Deji Shepa Namgyan Jesu Yirama Chumbe Deji Degi Teka Zene Zedan Tempa Share Dante Budan Janju Sempa Sempa Chembo Papa Chindri Si Wanchu Dan Tamze Dan Tempe Koru Te Dadan Ladan Bedan Lama Yedan Resara Chebe Jiten Yirante Chumbe Degi Sumba Lamu Barete Thus I have heard once the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgriha on Vulture's Peak, together with a great assembly of monks and Bodhisattva. At that time, the Blessed One was totally absorbed in the concentration that examines all phenomena, called profound illumination. And at the same time, the Navalavalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, was engaged in the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, analyzing the five aggregates by nature empty. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra spoke to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, how should those of good family learn who wish to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond? Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, replied to the Venerable Shariputra, saying, O Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of good family wishes to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, should look at it like this, analyzing the five aggregates by nature empty. Form is empty, emptiness is form, form is not, and emptiness, form is not emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, karmic formations, and consciousness are all empty. Therefore, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are neither impure nor free from impurity. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no karmic formations, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. There are no spheres of the eyes up to no spheres of the mind. There are none of these all the way up to the sphere of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance, nor is there destruction of ignorance. There are none of these all the way up to, there is no old age and death, nor is there destruction of old age and death. Thus there is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, all Bodhisattvas hold to the wisdom gone beyond, and because there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond falsity, they reach beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times by relying on the wisdom gone beyond, fully and clearly awakened to unsurpassed, most perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the wisdom gone beyond, the mantra of great insight, the unequaled and unsurpassed mantra, the mantra that calms all suffering, should be known as the truth, for there is no deception. The mantra of the wisdom gone beyond is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgandhi. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn the profound wisdom gone beyond. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and praised the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, very good, O son of good family. It is exactly like that. The profound wisdom gone beyond should be practiced exactly as you have said, and then the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the noble Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering and the world with its gods, men, and their gods and spirits, their hearts full of joy, praise the words of the Blessed One. So ends the noble discourse on the essence of the wisdom gone beyond. Oh, thank you. It is Thursday now, and the Thursday lecture is in the way of the Bodhisattva. The heirs to the Buddha, the Bodhisattva. If one were to train in the manner of the Bodhisattva, this would be the manual. This text would be the manual to that training. And then we have taken this text as our point of departure to many other presentations as well.
미유 예전직, 미유 땜부직, 대한의 미유 상부직, 미유를 시하는 이 도랑을 토비하게 치도라. 다 아니 다 장주 새벽에 저번냐면 대랑을 마토바이나 미유 예전 토비 매바다. 딱 자세 장주 새벽 저번 대달라 바이나 아니 미유다. 두고 여봐. 이제 디디지가 온 게 따라서 아니 또 빌라 비어 레송스.
And so, as has been said, where the objective, the goal is definite and one is emphatic and that objective is in place, then toward that end of realizing that very objective, we then engage in the trainings of Bodhisattva, without which there is no realization of this objective, but through which one is capable of realizing that goal.
근데 이래서마다 미유디다 또 미유디 장주사 배저 고라는 측이 제시에 저 제바이나 아니 장주스다 근데 톱제 타도 톱제 라는 매바스 그래 톱제 타도 그랬다 톱제 타도 장주 니 미유르샤 다디 톱에 치더라 아니 다람 탑도 셔라 니 예배나니 또 아니 장주선 배저발라베 저 탑을 라고 이바레서
That objective is bodhi, that is awakening in the context of the way of the Bodhisattva. Bodhi, awakening, is unequaled, unexcelled. It is bodhi, awakening that is realized through the implementation of method with wisdom. And of these two, method and wisdom, principle here in the way of the Bodhisattva is the outline of the method.
yeah, that's say 자주선 그 저발을 라베 되나 또 남주 뒤에서도 거진도 신주 민비치도 아니 누르고 뭐 시사 자주선을 저발도 동전은 장가로 주제부여래 손스.
The trainings of Bodhisattva may be summarized as of 10 trainings, 6 of which for the purpose of bringing peace to one's own continuum, one's own mind. These, the 6 paramitas, the perfections. And with these, the 4 means of gathering disciples for the taming of the minds of others. These summarized as 10 trainings of Bodhisattva.
뭐야 세상가? 나 이제 인도전마다 라비아가 소저디 다 버진 주스 세계를 버진 주원 아니 시주도 집에서 다 제시들이 다 장가졌다. 수수수 여발에 제단디 이 조념면수 뒤니 장가된데 개고요래서
So then the trainings of Bodhisattva are principally characterized as 10 paramitas, 10 perfections. Elsewhere as 6 paramitas, 6 perfections. When one counts the 4 means of gathering disciples, there are 10 paramitas, and these are the principal trainings.
이제 인도전마다 버진 주고나네 ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 아주 버진 주 버진 다 둘 차샤나 둘을 차샤바이나 버진 주고나네 방법이다 라비아가 방법이 좀내게 버진 주고 좀 송도 방법 집에 버진 송요래 송지
In 10 paramitas, when we take 6 paramitas, and the first of these, which the Buddha presented, it is firstly the training in generosity.
그래서 당부시에 고야지 집에 버진이 냠내 탈치 말라 때는 사당부터 보고요. 그래서
And the reason for this being presented first by the Bhagavan is that through the training in the Paramita of generosity, the consummation of that training is the realization of the first Bodhisattva Bhumi.
사니바 바로도 치면서 사니바 수lum지 버진이 수lum지 바로도 치말라 때는 사니바 또 바로 아니 세벨 버진이 바로도 치말 때는 아니 사숨바 아니 줄주지 버진이 바로도 치말 냠서 남바 탈치 말라 때는 아니 사시바 아니 삼대지 버진 말라 때는 상아바 아니 싫어지 버진 탈치 말라 때는 사고 왔어 그게 사고 이제 더 보여야 돼서
And through the training in the second paramita of ethical discipline, the consummation of the training is the realization of the second Bodhisattva Bhumi. And through the training in the third paramita of patience, the realization, the consummation of the training is the realization of the third Bodhisattva Bhumi. And the realization and consummation of the fourth paramita of zeal, energetic discipline, is the realization of the fourth Bodhisattva Bhumi. And the consummation of the training in the fifth Paramita of concentration is the realization of the fifth Bodhisattva Bhumi. And the consummation of the training in the sixth Paramita of wisdom, the Pragya Paramita, is the realization of the sixth Bodhisattva Bhumi.
이니야 다 어디서도 다 수수수 이니야 다 레벨로 다디 뭐지 이니야 다 단도 사 좀바게 보고 어디야 다 신주시를 납전에 사주어버 거고요. 그래서
Then in addition to these Bodhisattva Bhumis, the grounds, with the addition of the four means of gathering disciples, then the seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th Bodhisattva Bhumis are realized.
근데 이들마다 사탕볼 집에 사탕볼 토벌 집에치도 집에 버진 탈진 보고 요르잖아. 집에 버진 탈진 봐라. 랑기 룰 계산도 세 봐. 현재 땅 투바. 맞으면 집에 버진 탈진 말하잖아. 근데 땅 요르서.
So then, through the training in the paramita of generosity, the consummation of which is the realization of the first Bodhisattva Bhumi, that which is required in the paramita of generosity, is the thoroughgoing generosity extended through one's body and all one's resources and all of one's roots of virtue. Without the dedication of all these through the practice of generosity, there can be no consummation of the paramita of generosity.
yes. 냠내기 도당 찬시나. 근데 스타트는 말한조 집에 버진 냠내 모습 라는 따래라. 알레 당보 집에 버진 냠랑 투야. 사진 아니 집에 버진 게 딱한다를 논주고 장 마도 당당 모습 라만 집에 버진 냠내 쇼투야. 누구든 가서 다 상금 말해서
That then is the outline of how the practices would proceed along those lines, and beginning with the paramita of generosity. The actual application, implementation of generosity must follow from sufficient preparation, which is the bringing together of conditions so that one is capable of practicing generosity, without which there can be no actual implementation of this paramita of generosity.
집에 버진 탈신바 마중은 아니 버진 하마도 탈신바 용아 매바 때문에 차와서
And it goes without saying indefinitely, so that without the consummation of the paramita of generosity, there can be no subsequent realization of the following paramitas.
이네 마중에 좀 되게 아니 내 당보와 집에 버진 게 냠서 와야 지들라 세난매배 진방아 신들의 송교가 해서
And going on then to the Bhagavan's characterization of 5 ways to practice generosity with no miserliness for the purposes of the beginning person.
이 세난매배 진방아 장가 근데 제가 그랬으나 그냥 랑기 동기 신라 좀단 때 봐줘 중단배 샘의 남도 그게 차단의 남도 매배 돈에 지안을 중단 때 받이 아니 지발을 찍지요 해서
These five means of generosities without miserliness, if we were to present these five, and we do, the first is to smile upon others without allowing mental discursivity to interfere with one's expression, which would be to smile upon others.
사람이 보면 남시에 나는 미가 나와도 그 대신 배는 미를 찾아봐 있나 미기 신라 배 가외 따와서 찍한 거지 그래서 가외 따 가오제는
가오제는 디 담보라 쓰기로 담보데라
그것도 이 중단때만
아니 니버디
이것도 언더가 미기 가외 때만
미기 가외 미기 가외 temba
신라 배 미기 랑게 심 가외 때는 따와
The second is the expression of delight of encounter with another expressed through one's eyes.
야, 다티네 숨바데라 아니 랑게 칸네 신기게 내줘봐 신라 가외게 아니 배 루나오게 가 신라 가외게 내줘봐 강가 수강가 집어나 샤요 그래서
The third means is the verbal expression of praise and celebration of the good qualities found in another. And this is the third, generosity with no miserliness.
야, 다티네 인지기 300에 신라 아니 패슴 깨봐
And the fourth is the altruistic spirit directed to another to be of welfare to them.
야, 다티네 루지 신라 그걸 쳐봐
And followed by the expression through one's body language of respect for another.
야, 이 가서 내 담보를 세나메베 집어가서 배편이 침부시고 송가 내 손으로시
The Buddha Bhagavan described these five forms of generosity without miserliness as being very beneficial to a person.
야, 세상에서 집어 담보 장주에서 봤을 때 어디서 배 아니 한게 지투에 여봐 지나 편이 침부 여봐 아니 네랑게 음식날 내 투에 여봐 다 들리시도 송와 내 손으로시
So then these first, in that first practice of the paramita of generosity, these five which one is capable of practicing, which bring about so many benefits, which one has the capacity to practice these forms of generosity.
야, 다시 저니 말이만 그 지투가 있나 아니 나 집에게 냐네 제반하나 자그래 아니 제바대 편의시부 여 가서고 주스나다 대여마 어찌발라 세나리 일릭식이 되어 여마 세나메비 집었으면 집어먹는 나 장각게 그래서
And they become a habit. And they do so when each day they are practiced. And they are included within the paramita of generosity for the reason that they are devoid of, free from miserliness. So in actuality, they are expressions of generosity.
도시 다티는 거서 다티는 가서 다티 아주 지시도 이야제 나가서 한달다 내 이런 아바게 뒤에 캐나다도 뒤에 때문에 되려 가서 다 데리고 채고야겠다 미유도다 지난달 샘진 간대지 뭐 이네 샘진이네라 미이네라 다 가리네 간다 수수수게 미 간다데 여봐서 미여봐서 니니 여봐도 간가 찍봐 요래 손으로시
Thank you then, as these are general remarks. And now, as for your reason for making the time that you do and our shared reason in gathering, what we share as our purpose is the recognition that any sentient life, animal, human, in every case has in common a view as to what is desirable and what is not.
제가 이르다 되어봐다 믿어봐 지과 여봐 인도좀 봤다 되어봐 두배다 믿어봐 마요야게 탑치고야 돼다 수수수 냉gen 차게 해서
And when this is the commonality, that there is that which is desirable and that which is not, all attempt to avoid, and that which is desirable, all seek.
근데 이를 되어봤어야 된다 수수 돼야 되나다 왜 수수수 미자미자 미네 내 수수 되어봐 치중다 아니 미 수수 지는 한달 한국 산도 땅 쳐야겠다 선제이네 그러나 그런 게 아들 되어봐 감각 되어봐들의 연구 말하고 가는 수술 되어봐들의 연구를 해서 말이지.
As for that which is desirable, there is variety. There is variety among individuals in terms of the intensity of the desire and what particulars are desired. Among animals even too, it isn't that the exact same thing will be desired by all. Desires too are unique.
이제 전로로 찾아봐 있나? 맞죠. 거기다 다른 미디어바를 찾아봐 있나? 지난 미디어가 망고 영수가 됐다. 또 가세는 아니 라나다 세다 꼼 나라의 동에 이 미디어가 차. 아니 세다 다 세다 아니 다 고여시라요 말아서 이제 고여 뭐 대화도 고여 뭐 먹을 고여 고여 말서 선배도 조세 아니 고여 되어 봤는데 여러 손을
among animals, among the animals, taking first animals as our illustration regarding that which is undesirable, it is principally the pain of hunger and thirst which animals wish to avoid, find undesirable, while there is, in addition to the pain of hunger, the pain for want of clothing. Want of clothing is not relevant to the animals. Principle is the pain of hunger and thirst.
아니 단데 내가 밑에 내가 디가나 빼가라서 그렇게 아니 네 중에 대화 중화다 네 맞는 대화 맞중화 아니 딘디지 초하다 딘디지 간 그거 열에서
For the human being, want for pain, want for clothing, for food are natural, and in addition to this, the human being seeks status and reputation. And these preoccupy the human being. Desire for food, clothing, and status, absorbed as they are distraught in want of these and gratified when these are found.
내가 비가가 가는데 어디를 차냐 아니 다 비중은 되어봐 비중은 되어 토바다 비 맞는 되어봐 맛랑 되어봐 맛토베게 딘데 초에 토는 맞다 아니 당 미세지 그냥 저저저 우스당샤고 그래서
And we are presently in this lifetime absorbed in the pursuit of these for which we are attached, toward which we are attached. And when we find what we seek, we are gratified. And when we do not, we are distraught.
예. 네 중나니 너와 중화를 왜 아니 대란 또그다 무슨 소바도 중화나 대화 중화다. 또그다 무슨 소바 마중화 있는데 너가 마중화 그 차기를 해서는 다디 차기요 말했어. 대삼 중화디 대화 중화게 새 차기요 말해서
Look, as this is translated, I'll
So,
relieve myself for a moment. If if these are found, though, in actuality, is one satisfied? Is to find everything in the way of food and clothing and status, the realization of satisfaction actually. And when these, everything in the way of food, clothing, and status are not found, is this actually to be dissatisfied? This is the question which follows, and it is not so. This is not the actual measure. I experience the discomfort which goes along with this compulsorily acquired aggregate.
야, 다 재산들이 당한 주고 가리고 그래서 당한 주고 대화 양다 버지 댐바 고기 유나 아니다. 판단한 주고 대화 되기 대화 두바 되기 심기 매바다. 제 두배 탑되기 대화 양다 버지 톱 속고 매바. 다디 모신 바꾸고 요래서
So then what follows for us? It follows for us that we'd recognize that there is well-being that is actual, perfect well-being, but that our other measure is not the measure of that which is perfect well-being.
다 세상 뒤인데 좀 당한 가르쳐 버렸으나 다 대화 두배 탑 아니 양다 버지 다 가르치 요래서 저것이 아니 대화 다 두배 탑 양다 버지 될라 때문에 대화 간데서 톡 그래서 어떤 조언이 된 거래서
So then again, what follows for us when perfect well-being would be realized, the question which follows is, what is the means to the realization of that, and what is that described here as perfect well-being?
야, 다 세상 인데 좀 당한서 다긴 고고 시에비 당한서 단다 즉 베나타 심제 강갈라스나 아 잡채다 그래 당한서 밀을 도면 저지 바이나 아 말한저 랍데 남지 싫었지 내 요래 아니 두비야기 때 제발진 가지고 요래 세상에는 랑기 두바이나 두두야기 차년 상황 그래서
And if again we begin at the beginning, it is not to characterize all sentient beings, as that would be too broad, but to narrow upon the human being endowed with native discriminating intelligence and whose physical support in their body with their inborn intelligence make up all that is required in supportive conditions for the realization of this end.
야, 세상에 인류정은 땅 안함도 마두나 니수 가가래. 루바이나 아니 두레래. 다 한게 라발로 여바도 차요. 그래서
If one does not apply themselves, it is a different matter altogether. But were they to apply themselves, then everything required is already at hand.
뭐야, 다 세상 데 인류 땅아도 다탑 체벌진 가리고 그래서 맞다. 땅 안함도 동해 시벌 동해 수 간다 내가 동해 시에 들어 림바만 보여로 동해 내가 동해 시에 요래 때는 동해 시와 채워 요래서 내가 동해 시와 있나 팽거 요 말이야 고 동해 양조권에 깨우고 요가 이제 가지 동해기 나르고 요 세상에 이제 다 때도 동해에 탈 와서게 됐다 뒤 탑시도 보고 요래서
And then what is involved in the exceptional means toward well-being. There is the pacification, a pacification of temporary pain, a temporary pacification of pain and sorrow. And there are steps involved in the temporary pacification of pain and sorrow. But this is inadequate, insufficient, as again, pain and sorrow will set in again. And so it is lasting pacification of pain and sorrow that would be pursued through this extraordinary, exceptional method.
Oh yes, that thing is 동해 시와 다탑 가리요래서 그래서 내가 보러 대대 살다 간다 그때는 동해 시와 생기지 연나 아니다 열이 요 말이 연나다 가와 열 가리 시투래서 딱 그래서 네가 안 그래서 말이야.
With that, then we have alighted upon the most critical question of all, namely, that there is lasting pacification of pain and sorrow. And what is the means to that?
Oh yeah, that thing is 동해 시와 생기지 딱 간다 딱 쳐ner 지르와다 배나 간다 동해 시와 치풍이다 술에 수좀다 말하면서 간다 동해 수 깨버리시니 동해 수 무튼 동해 깨버리시니 술에 수 단진들이 단진들이 오니 아니 저자게 조금 공격게 아니 나게 타도서게 이원기 레사 볼때 내가 동해니 뭐야 그것도 용요 그래서
The lasting pacification of pain and sorrow is accomplished by who? Who is it that realizes the lasting pacification of pain and sorrow? For us, then, is to identify what it is which produces pain and sorrow and which makes it continuous. And it is the misapprehension of the personal self that does this. Following this misapprehension ensue all lust, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy, under the influence of which we accumulate karmas, and the karmas produce for us uninterrupted pain.
오야 다 대대기 아니다 동에 땐도 또 중원 친얘기 다 단지기 로 생애디 다 매번 마서나 먼저 모두 동해기도 코르네 우여봐 대대 인도 맞다 단지디 매번 소고 고고 여러 다 단지디 매번 소야 가르고 그러죠 다 단지 매번 수요소도 그래 어디 소인 수에서 다 지네 다음에 또 싫어 다음에 또 싫어 뒤 아니 랑기 곰네랑 줄라 깨봐 있나 아니 단지디 까도고요 단지디 까봐 있나 다 동해 시와서 이거요 해서
When this is so, when the misapprehension of the personal self creates continuous pain and sorrow, wherever it remains, there is unbroken pain and sorrow, then naturally the misapprehension of the personal self must necessarily be eliminated. What is it which eliminates the misapprehension of a personal self? It is the wisdom realizing the absence of the personal self, which, when inculcated, which, when conditioned so that it becomes the attitude of the mind, brings about an end to pain and sorrow.
오야 다 제가 뒤에 좀 왔다 가지고 냠스 나야 누가 더 중요하겠다 고대 간에 좀 오래 해서 맞다 다음에 또 싫어 오야 다음에 또 싫어 되기 아니 다 뒤에 다음에 또 싫어 한번 고반에 아니 단지 갈래가 또 왔다 뒤에 다음에 또 싫어 슉 칠다도 아니 단지 슉 좀 좋다 담았다 단지 매버서 도와 단지 매버 차도 아니 동행기에 귀디 매버서요 그래서도 아니 다 유 동행 용해 귀디 매버 인자 아니 그 동행에 타러 봤으면 차기 어려서
Then this practice toward well-being finds for its entry point this, the wisdom realizing the absence of the personal self. Oh, it is just this, that when cultivated and intensified as the wisdom recognizing the absence of the personal self weakens that misapprehension of a personal self and finally eliminates it entirely. And with that, when the cause of pain and sorrow is entirely eliminated, one is now liberated from pain and sorrow.
다 대대 이제 좀 왔다 가지고 간다르다 탑 창주고 탑 창주 셈 개가 랑기 아니까 가와 가면 또 싫어지 권이 뭐 예매도 차서나 아니 다 도매 다음에 제 투바도 연구가 해서 그랬어
Okay, so then, as has been observed, when the awakening mind, the Bodhisattva, is the method, and that is the method itself, it is made indivisible from the wisdom realizing the absence of the personal self. And when they are unified and have become indivisible, then the source of pain and sorrow has been abandoned at the root.
오야 다 되게 야부 요야가 탄다 딱 가지 만도 셰버 차라가 남샤 셰버 참무게 셰버 라바디 다 간다르 다음에 또 베시라고 또야 앞에 더 두기 매봤다 셰버 참무 되네 다 다음에 또 그이어가 다 되게 탄다 아니 셰버 차라가 되게 뭐 셰버래 손
And as that is the case, then toward that, our relevant concern for that range in states of conscious awareness forced to subtle. And within states of conscious awareness which are subtle, the recognition that the realization of the absence of the personal self in a subtle awareness is what concerns us now and which we are characterizing.
뭐야, 다 네가 시사게 또 네가 이거 친구 취해지, 이거 친구 취해 나네 아니, 다그 유람 상하게 남다 때네 아니 다 시기요래 손으로.
And we are presently presenting then from within Mahayana Dharma that swift path of the Mantrayana.
뭐야, 대다다가 라면 흉 시사게 흉 간데 요래스 됐으나 다시 개체어도 오더라. 라면 안에다 아니 배나 물르르고다 상황들이 쇼고를 드는 시기래. 아니 리나 아니 파발라게 제베 주두 르벨루장게 제베 아니 창주지 남샤 아니 나루바게 다 리나 두바세 다 지수 뒤용아서 셈타라게 셰사게 빼서 콩두서 그래서
Dila drang due, voilà. Tep dila. De chosa de. De mara, de chup tirne. Ane parsing ngaba.
ngaba 들어오디
Ale de ni bare.
ngaba
Ale de kesa ane ngaba de se ba yimbe yamana.
아니 레디 ngaba 다른 사가지 넣어
De ni ba de kwa. Ale ni ba de zige yimbe.
네.
Ale de ta yo.
아, 네. 이거 다시 ngaba 드신 거 이거도 많다.
Ni ba de mara.
이거 대나 같이 사는 시.
자, 심서에 넣었음.
아,
이거 해.
난 찍어지 뭐 이거.
찍어 해.
최대 이렇게 맞달래라.
얘는 디디 안에
라면 흉 지제. 봐 상황도 소고르제. 아니 고문에서 remba제. 아니 바발라게 주두제. 르벨루장이
파파사기
주두
알레. 알레. 나기도 해. 디시다.
도랑
He's well.
알레 디시.
대시 자초지.
알레 디시. 삼샤나라.
시작하면 가시 주제 집에 시작.
건서 안에 서로 캠스 되는.
He's
건서
not well.
통도도.
안에
삼샤가.
Yes.
맞아 되게 참여합시다.
Would you allow us to put this on pause for just now?
Yes.
For a couple of days, I haven't been
Yeah.
quite well, very well.
건다 상을 가디
Yes.
상을 세상에 뒤져야 자내 배웠는 저도 돌아가서 건다시.
I apologize as you've made the time, and now the time goes to waste for you. So I apologize.
No, it's not nice. We still got it all hour, DJ. Yeah. Thank you so much.
대우라는 것 때문에
야신 톱, 톱에요.
야 너무 어투 야 근데 강하다
Quickly dedicate. Yeah. What?
Yeah. 어디 가고 나 무슨 나고 아예 얘기 무슨
That was a great observation. 네, 딱 진이 사비.
이거 대신
We'll recite both observations. Both.
링등 벨레 선이
한들 양바 간신 상바
예
로메 마리 기존조와이 남쟁게웨 홍보를 당기르식 데마 수레 세력 근도양 잠배 양계 세웨 예송네 템레 렘바 군산 넘기쇼 니네 르베게 나니제쇼 랑게 지신 도베 랑게네 쇼자 제웨 장베 잡게게 Rowe yeke mumba sajene, gewe temba yurin zingyuruji, temba rinshin choge makya bam, kyabjan yambar gyurwe chodirne, ninje temba yirak gyobayi, pende tebze sawar jebar sho, seje gewe mejun tenlele, like jang juk lam ge gyam. Tardu namgi lam ete jing gewe zeba ringdu kyongyur chik lam zang drube tungen drupte jing kirgin seje midang mi gun zera kundu gewe ngamba yi namda lamdang rewar magyur chik kangse tekwa shola chuchun sujin drupa zumba deyi ze Tupde namge dadung roje jik rashi gazo chogun gyam gyurzi ginchi tone. From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of the paths of the complete teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I offer this treasure of happiness to aid all sentient beings. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by following the complete graduated path to enlightenment and the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings that eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent path never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Dagi jinye sabe gewanti, tendang gowa kuna kampindang, kevar jetsun lozang drapa yi, tembe ningbo rindu setje sho, kanri rawe korwe shinkandi, tendang dewa malu chungwe, chenre dewan tenzin gyaso yi, share side barjun tenjiroshi, Jambel Babo Njitare Kimbanam Kundu Zambo Deyan Deshinte Deda Gungi Jesu Ndalo Chir Gyewan Deda Tamche Rabdu Mo Dusum Shebe Gyewan Tamche Gi Ngowa Gama Chodu Mambandu Dagi Gyewe Tawan Dikun Gyam Zambo Shishi Radu Mahorji Janjo Senjo Rinpoche Magye Padang Kegire Shik Yewa Nyamba Meba Yang Pone Gondo Bewa Sho. I dedicate whatever virtues I've ever collected for the benefit of the teachings and of sentient beings, in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drangpa to shine forever. In a land encircled by snowy mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until cyclic existence is ended. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra do realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious Duskha and ones of the three times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the supreme jewel, Bodhicitta, that has not arisen, rise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more.
All of the merits that we have just acquired through listening to the teaching today, really help to visualize well.